It's the Logan Power Show. Inspirational and motivational. It's the Logan Power Show. Informational to help you grow. Logan Power Show. And now the host, Calvin Logan.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, and I'm just honored for you all who are watching us right now, who are spending time with us. So understand this, the Logan Power Show. We're nationwide, worldwide, and I got with me a special guest. She is humble. She has a sweet spirit, and I tell you right now, she's gonna knock your socks off. Talk about her business. One is Melyssa. How you doing, ma'am?
Hey, good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Glad to have you here on the Logan Power Show. So let's get down to it. Tell us about your company, what you got going on. I know we haven't seen each other in a long time, but hey, it's a small world. Want to bring you to the business sector. Say, let's talk about you.
Nice. Well, thank you. Yes, it's been a minute for sure. Gosh, I got into the world of holistic health and essential oils back in 2014, and I went to a little talk, and I learned all about them. And I went in thinking like, this lady's crazy. Like, I don't know what she is talking about. And by the end of the class, I was hooked. I was like, I need to transition. I need to start, using these things. And so I became a brand partner for a company called Young Living out of Utah, and didn't quite know what I was doing, but really just loved helping people. And when you start to learn about all these things that, were put here by God and Mother Nature, that were meant to help us, and you start to learn a lot about all the things out there that are really hurting humans, and to be able to have an answer to all these questions that we're being presented with every day. Like, my wrist hurts. What do I do? I just, my 4-year-old just walked into the back door and has a lump on the top of his head. Like, what do I do? And to be able to answer those questions with something that was, put here from the beginning on the earth, not made in a lab, that was pretty special. So that's kind of, what I get to do and educate people on how to use oil safely, and, things to avoid. So many people go into a grocery store and they find things that they like, and they just put them in their cart without ever reading the ingredients. And a lot of these ingredients out there they really haven't been tested in the mannerism that they should, and they're quite harmful to the human body.
True. I mean, there are things out there holistically that can definitely heal the body and actually keep the body moving in the right direction. Is there one thing in particular that sort of sparked your nature and say, you know what, this is like the one I tell people a lot more than anything about for you?
In terms of product, or just, in terms of overall,
it could be product, overall health. I mean, you can dial into both. I know a lot of people are unaware. I know you're more familiar than I would. I know a lot of things you hear about, grandma said, take this, and you'd be good to go.
The grandmas, man, we should have been listening to them the whole time. I have a giant book in my pantry in my kitchen. I mean, this thing is like 4 inches thick, and it says holistic home remedies, and it's got every food in there, and like breaks down like exactly what that food does, and then has an index in the back that talks about like, if this happens, eat this. If this happens, eat that. I'm like, I've not read it cover to cover. I use it as a reference, but wow, I did a lot of information. I think that the really just comes back to like, purity. I mean, I can say lavender all day long, but if it's not a pure lavender, it's just not going to do it. It's not going to do it for you. It's like if you ate a burger from a fast food restaurant versus a gourmet restaurant, the nutritional value is going to be completely different, and it's going to taste different. It's going to do different things to your body. So the same thing goes with essential oils. I think that, when we talk about lavender and frankincense, I mean, everyone's familiar with those two words. But when you see them in a grocery store, you're like, oh yeah, that's the same thing. And it's really not. It smells like it, but the molecule and the chemical makeup of what's inside are totally different. And I think that that's kind of where my passion grew for all of this and for the Young Living side of things, is because we could walk on the fields. We could see the lavender being grown. We could watch it being distilled. We got to see the whole process, and we knew how dedicated they were to making sure that there was no junk in there. But yeah, I'd say that was fascinating, just fascinating. There's, my dad always said that life is full of little doors, and when you open a little door, there's a whole world inside, but they look little from the outside. And this is kind of one of the little doors I got introduced to. And wow, man, it's a big world behind that door.
I totally understand. Now let's get into healing. That is one thing that people have, I got a pain, I got an ache. I'm thinking biofreeze. I'm thinking about, icy hot. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let me rub on, I know I got a cold pack. I'm gonna put that on there. Something's hurt, aches or pain. But let's talk about healing. Any type of healing oils that your company provides, that it heals those aches and pains of the body that you offer.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, there's so many different oils that people use for, impact pain. And then there's other oils that people have used for, more lingering pains. I had my cousin actually had, her knee was killing her like every time. And she was a runner, 4 miles a day this chick was running. And I sent her up a bottle of Panaway, and I said, just try this, see if it helps. And she said that she put it on her knee, and it was the first time in 4 years that her knee did not hurt when she was done with her run.
Wow. And
that was amazing. And like little stories like that, I get to kind of, share, and people kind of come back to me and say like, okay, well, what, and I can only, speak from my experience. Like, hey, I used this and it worked. Everyone's DNA is a little different. My daughter cannot handle peppermint oil. It bothers her. It's just too hot for her. So what we did is we actually made up a blend for her that had 3 other oils in it that would help with, with her inflammation, with her pain and all those things. And we kind of, tested a couple different combinations, and this one worked for her. And we would put it on her legs when she would have growing pains. And it was a combination of frankincense, copahiba, and Idaho balsam fir. And the combination of those 3 it worked for her. It was wonderful. And now, we try and avoid the Tylenols and the ibuprofens of the world, because, they can do long-term damage to the liver, and they're just, obviously a lot of use of those types of things is not great for the body. So it was wonderful that we were able to kind of come up with this little unique blend that worked for her. But as you can see, I don't know
I see it. I can see it.
Okay, there's so many different combinations. And so usually when someone comes to me, we start them with the basics, and we say, okay, why don't we try these couple oils that'll kind of get you through the day, and it's ones that, help with mood and overall like stress and sleep. A lot of people come to me for sleep issues, a lot of people. And that's why we make little diffusers, and we diffuse it into the air, therefore that they get into the olfactory part of the brain. And the molecules are super small, so they can actually get to places where, over-the-counter stuff can't. So we tend to kind of approach things from a very holistic point, where we'll say, okay, if you're having trouble sleeping, like, let's back it up. Like, are you watching screens late at night? Are you having a lot of caffeine during the day? How's your hydration? Like, so it's not just about, having our products fix everything. It's about using them as kind of a pathway to get everything under the same umbrella.
Absolutely. So pretty much, for those that are, oh yeah, this oil gonna make me go to sleep, even though I'm watching television late at night. No, you gotta make some changes to your lifestyle first, so that the oils can, make a difference. So it seemed like you all are making a lot of headway when it comes to the medical profession, because as you know, the medical profession is a $1 billion business. Pretty much it's close to $1 trillion as time evolves. As time goes on, medicine becomes more of the biblical scriptures than the biblical scriptures themselves. And doctors are prescribing stuff like crazy. As you can see, certain medicines pricing has changed as demand has increased, or there's been a generic brand to sort of contradict for yourself. Now, you being a parent, how has your overall sort of treatment of your children changed their life? I know a lot of times you have parents where you have kids who are um, taking all this crazy medication to stay functioning and things like that, and they, kids are over medicated, making all crazy decisions. How has it changed your parenting by going this route for your lifestyle?
That's a great question. It's very interesting because it's hard to keep my mouth shut, to be honest, when I'm out there in the world and be like, no, you don't need to do that. And so, my kids have not been on antibiotics in 5 years, nor have I. And that's not to say that we never got sick. We did. We were just able to solve it with what we had here. And I think that there's just drugs, they affect more than what they're, honed in to do. And I think that sometimes we forget that they affect mood, they affect brain function, they affect sleep, they affect so many different things. And that when we start to layer them, we can cause these massive issues down the line, especially when it comes to gut health. And if you take an antibiotic, it cleans out the good and the bad bacteria. It actually takes the gut 1 to 2 years to reset after an antibiotic. So if you were to layer 2 antibiotics inside of a 12-month period, you are doing detrimental damage to the bio of the gut. So your gut is this, basically think of it as like a mini ecosystem. And if you come in and you clear out the grass, then all these other things trickle down, and then the gut actually needs that long period of time to get back to where it's supposed to be. So the problem is that when you have these children that have like multiple ear infections or this or that, and you're just layering these antibiotics every 6 to 12 months, that gut biome is never having that opportunity to get back to where it needs to be. And when the gut is out of line, all these other things start happening. There's more mood issues, there's sleep issues, there's overall immune system issues when that gut is out of balance. So I think for me, it's been very eye-opening. Not only have we not, been on antibiotics for this long, but we also are very in tuned with certain chemicals like dyes, like red 40 and, the blues and the yellows. Like those aren't real ingredients and they shouldn't be in our bodies. And so now we know that those too are hurting the gut, and those, and so we're constantly just thinking about like, okay, what are we doing? Or is everything that's going in our body helping us or hurting us? And so I think that it is hard, because I did see this one t-shirt that said I had some kind of disease, and it said, so they prescribed me this, which led to foot pain. So they prescribed me this, which led to a sore throat. So they prescribed me this, and it went on and on and on. And you realize that so many Americans want a quick fix, so they want a drug. And then that drug causes something else, and so they get another drug. And the next thing you know, their medicine cabinet is 12, 18, 20 different pills, and there's no one that's doing hardcore chemistry on how all those things interact with one another. And especially because each body is so different. Some people's metabolism is much higher than others, which means that, this amount of drug isn't doing anything for them. But this person over here, that's too much. And especially if you start layering. So yeah, it's been very eye-opening. And, I think that the medical community is doing amazing things in certain sectors, but I do think that they're catering to an audience that just wants a quick fix.
Wow. I mean, you're speaking volumes there. Quick fix America. We got to change our ways. Sometimes a good meal, slow and steady. Slow and steady. Fast food is not always the answer to the remedy. Microwave magic is it seems great, but in the long term, it may shorten the lifespan. How can people get in contact with you? Said they want to get in contact with your offer. Where should they go?
Oh yeah, you can go to my website. It's theoilgirl.com. And you can find me all over Facebook, Melyssa Jaskiewicz. And theoilgirl.com is pretty much best, or my email, which is Melyssa with a Y, MELYSSA theoilgirl.com. And by all means, I mean, if anyone has questions or wants to just learn more, I mean, even if you never ended up buying a thing from me, I definitely always want to answer questions and help where I can. There's so many people out there that have questions, and I can talk for about 3 hours straight on this stuff, so I can probably answer them.
Guarantee Melyssa Jaskiewicz is a good friend of the Logan Power Show. Our families know each other for quite some time, so trust me, she's a caregiver, and she loves helping out the youth, and we are fighting parents that want the best for our children. So give my good friend a chance. My thing is that it's what's best suited for yourself. I know a lot of times, people say, well, I'm gonna go this route. Understand this. She's not gonna be a quick fix. It's gonna be a total lifestyle change. And that's what we're looking for. A lifestyle means that you meant to cut back on certain things, add this, remove this out your life. So if you're willing to make that kind of sacrifice, get in contact with her and let's make a difference, family. So I thank you again for coming on. I thank you for all who are watching this. Stay motivated, stay hydrated. Hey, put the right stuff in your system. Your life will never be the same. Hey, this is all the time I got. My name is Calvin, the Logan Power Show, nationwide, worldwide. We love you. We'll see you soon.
It's the Logan Power Show. Inspirational and motivational. It's the Logan Power Show. Informational to help you grow. Logan Power Show.